Hey guys, it's your makeup artist friend, Cat Sketch. Today we are going to be doing a big-eyed character of Baby Groot from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, opening at Regal Cinemas. You can go get your tickets in the link of the video description down below. So in today's makeup video, we are going to turn into this awesome Baby Groot character. He actually has no nose, but he's so cute and adorable, very friendly and whimsical. So let's get started with the video. I'm just clipping back my bangs to get all the hair out of the way so that we have enough room and space to start the makeup. And now I'm going to get some paper masking tape before getting one of those cotton rounds, those facial cottons, and we're going to fold it and put it right where the bridge of our nose is, between our eyes, under the paper tape. Please make sure you are not allergic to any adhesives in this paper tape, and you're going to cut it and adjust it right on the middle of your forehead down to the very bottom of your nose. You can get little pieces and put it on the sides as well. Adding some more tape, what we're doing with this is trying to achieve a flat area that looks like we don't have a nose. So I'm going to get some liquid latex with a tiny little red stipple sponge and stipple that on the sides of the tape. This is going to make it so that it doesn't look like we just stuck a piece of tape on our face, and it blends into our skin texture and there's no like lines of tape from your skin. And now I'm going to get some glue stick to flatten down my eyebrows and put layers of powder in between the glue stick once the glue stick gets a little bit dry and tacky. This is going to make it so that we have a totally flat surface to paint on later. And once you do about 2 to 4 layers of glue stick, we're going to put another piece of tape down in the center of our forehead over the existing one. Lift up halfway on the bottom of that tape and tape that as well, the sticky side going on the sticky side of this one that we just put on, so that the bottom of it is not sticky anymore, because it's going to lift up off of our nose and makeup will stick there and brushes, and we don't want that to happen. Now just getting some more liquid latex with that red stipple sponge and stippling on more texture to build up this flat nose on our face. And then we're gonna powder that down once it's dry so that we could start doing the makeup outline. I got this white eyeliner pencil to do the outline of Groot's mouth and the eyes that are actually gonna go on my cheeks under my natural eyeballs. Your cheeks are a perfect area to paint on eyeballs instead of paint them over your eyes, because it's more of a flat surface to do more of a circular eye shape that's easier. And I'm also, as you can see, outlining the crown of roots that come out from his head. And I'm doing the outline of his body as well. Groot's head is a little bit bigger than his slender body, so I'm just doing the outline of his little tiny body as he's sitting on my chest, before getting some cream paint that matches this masking tape. It's like an off-white yellow. And before we finish painting that on, I got some orange corrector to block out my eyebrows. This is gonna cancel out the dark brow hairs so that we could paint over it. Getting that cream paint again, painting not just all over my eyebrows, but on my forehead, around my nose. And we're gonna stop where the chin meets the rest of his face to get some white cream paint to make that stand out more, so that our Groot has a very bulbous animated head. And now we're gonna use a blow dryer to completely dry all of that before getting some translucent powder to powder down our entire face. Once our face is powdered, I'm gonna get this skin tone aqua paint. I say skin tone, but it's this beige color that's a little bit darker than my natural skin color. It's that perfect light wood color, and we're painting that not only all over the face in the masking tape, but on his body outline that we did too. You want to look at reference pictures of Groot to get this body outline correctly sitting down so it's not too small or too big for his head. And now I'm getting some brown aqua paint with a fan brush. Fan brushes are so great to do wood texture. Once you do a swiping motion of a wood grain on his face using the fan brush, you could dab it with your fingers or with a beauty sponge to make sure it's not just a really dark, harsh, almost chocolate looking line on his face, and so it'll actually look like natural wood grains. We're just layering on all this texture before we do any other layers of paint so that it looks like the wood grains in a tree trunk, just like Groot's face looks in the movie. And once you have your face done with that wood grain texture, I'm getting some alcohol paint with an orange stipple sponge and stippling that all over my face on the wood grain very lightly. You don't want really dark brown spots all over your face. And if you do not have alcohol paint, you could totally use some brown cream paint very lightly with the orange stipple sponge. And now I'm getting some mossy green cream paint and painting the top of his roots, all the moss colors. You definitely want to look at pictures of baby Groot for this to see where all the moss is growing from the crown of his head. You can even paint some of your hair if this washes out later, and you want to layer in some yellow cream paint in there as well because the moss is very bright green. Now I'm getting some dark brown cream paint and doing the shadow marks on the roots of his head and his eyebrows. Yes, Groot has no eyebrows, but he does have little tiny brown shadow marks where his eyebrows would be. You also want to paint in shadow marks under his eyes where we did the outline of where his eyes are going to be, and your upper lip as well. Now getting a black cream stick, we're going to start painting on the big, beautiful, dark black eyes that baby Groot has. I got some black aqua paint as well to really make these black, dark, circular eyes pop, and some tan cream paint around the edges of the black eyes. And then with a very thin brush, we're getting some black cream paint to do the outline of baby Groot's eyes before powdering that down and getting some sparkly brown eyeshadow with our angled brush. We're also getting some black eyeshadow with the angled brush and doing some shadowing around his eyes. And now getting some black cream paint on the upper part of his mouth where his little tiny mouth opens when he's really excited. You want to paint that as well. And paint more wood grain textures on your bottom lip as well. Now getting a white cream paint with a very tiny brush, we're going to do some very tiny white dots on the blackness of his eyes. This makes his eyes look so large and animated and glossy. Now we're going to get some black aqua paint with a medium-sized brush and color in around the roots of his crown and the sides of the face, and we're even going to color in our ears. This is so that our ears will look like they are missing with a black background. Like baby Groot is lost in space, and you could definitely see the outline of his body. Before we finish the black aqua paint, I am getting a baby wipe to correct the shapes of his eyes, just because I felt like they're a little too wide and not circular enough. With some brown cream paint, I'm just redoing the detail on the sides of his eyes. And I got more of that mossy green for his neck. He has some moss growing out from his neck as well. Getting that brown aqua paint again with one of those brow brushes to do texture and marks of wood on his body and his neck as well. You really want to look at reference pictures of baby Groot's body to see the texture of his skin or wood grain skin. I'm doing some dark brown aqua paint to outline just the textures of structures of the bark he has on his body, and then I'm getting that tan cream paint again that we used on one of the first layers of our face to do the highlight marks of his body where the wood stands out in certain parts on his feet and the very top parts of the bark that's exposed on his chest. His feet have this texture that's like the end of a wood log where you see all of the detail of all of the wood grain, and the rest of his body definitely has a lot of texture and detail. I switch on between light brown cream paint and darker brown cream paint all over his body and feet, again to make his feet look like these very cute little bottoms, like at the end of a wood log that's fallen in a forest. Getting that alcohol paint with the stipple sponge again and doing textures all over his shoulders. Then getting some black cream paint with a very thin brush and doing the darkest parts of the detail, especially on his bottom and his feet sticking out, and on his shoulders as well. Before getting some more brown alcohol paint, or you can use cream paint for this to do texture all around his body. And I'm getting the lightest cream paint to do textures on certain parts that stick out. Getting more dark brown and black cream paints to really do the base of his body so it looks like he's sitting down and the top parts of his body are lighter. Now, finally, we're going to switch back to that black aqua paint and blacken in the outline of his body. And to make Groot's body that I painted on my chest really stand out in detail, you really want to make sure you paint your shoulders and the rest of the areas of your chest and arms completely pitch black. So it looks like, again, that he's lost in space, sitting and waiting for his friends. And before we are finished, I am going to paint a little hand sticking out so that he's just chilling there. He has these very cute little hands that look like tree roots. And before I'm done, I am also going to paint my teeth. This is paint that is made just for your teeth. Do not put any paint on your teeth. Only one that's made for your teeth and mouth. And with that, we are completely done with our Baby Groot makeup transformation from the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I had so much fun doing this Baby Groot makeup for you guys. You can catch Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 at Regal Cinemas. Again, links to tickets will be down below. I hope you guys had as much fun watching this as I had making it for you all. And I hope to see you soon. Bye!